Alright, so here is the Class 3 truck that I put together to run next season. It's a Exo Half-Dome, and it's a Class 3, so it's 2.2s on it and stuff like that. I'm going to go over it in this video. It's kind of like a budget build. I mean, it's a lot of stuff from AliExpress, like the Capra BDX Capra axles. They're aluminum, but I'll pull the body off of it here. Well, first I'll talk about the body quick. The body's a cliffhanger. It's like a Toyota Tacoma, and I used this lame flake. Spray that on it first, and it gives it that really pearl color. And then I used really heavy metallic paint. So pretty metallic. I mean, it's dark blue metallic is the blue, and the black metallic black, and then the silver, bright silver. And I use this to tint the windows. It's called smoke. Spray that on the windows, makes them look tinted. There's a lot of light behind it right now, but it's pretty tinted looking in outside when you don't have a real bright light right behind the truck. But the carbon fiber roof rack, that's from Black Sheep. Just put that on there for some scale points. I cut this out so I could get the servo to fit better because that's so angled up. But let me pull the body off here and I'll show you what's going on underneath it. So I guess I'll just start at the front and go back from there. The bumper is Artful Designs, it's called. It's a metal bumper. It's pretty cool looking. Got a ferro lead in it and stuff. It's a cool looking bumper though. You can get them off eBay. I looked it up for a VRD carbon, but they fit like everything pretty much. So the chassis is an Exo Half-Dome. Got it used. The guy that had it said he had like 25 podiums with it or something. So it did pretty good. It was a C2 chassis though before. It has titanium Exo links. The sliders were from an L Captain or L whatever that other Exo is they make. And then they fit on this one actually though, so they worked out pretty good. The wheels are carbon fiber, 2.2s, and they're really light actually. They're off of like Amazon. The tires, they're Hyrax. They're the LPs, so they're like the, I don't know if that stands for lower profile or what, but they're not like XL 2.2s. They're kind of like a, I don't have a one. Oh yeah, I do have a one. Here's a 1.9. They're not that much bigger than a 1.9, probably a quarter of an inch. So they're probably like a 5-inch tall tire maybe. They're not huge, but they're not a 1.9 either. So the servo is the one out of my Class 2 truck right now. It's the Power Hobby 729. I like that servo for the price. Can't really go wrong with it. Steers the truck good, and it wiggles the front nice even with these 2.2s. The transmission actually is an AliExpress carbon fiber, like a $25 transmission. That's how you can build these and save some money, because these parts are decent. And like, just say you're worried about it breaking because you run comps and you didn't want to be like far away or spend money to get in a comp and then the transmission breaks or something. Just buy 2 of them if you want to. I mean, they're so cheap versus like say a deluxe one or the Exo one or any of them. You could buy 2 of these for less than half the price of one of those. So I would recommend just buying 2 of them and keeping it as a spare. I'm gonna run the same transmission in this and my class 2 eventually, but for right now I'm doing a stubby kit, and I'm going to try that out with the class 2 truck. I'll talk about that in another video. I'm going to get too off topic here and make this video super long, but that's how I had to put the links. So I put them at the inner part on the rear of the skid there, and then did the upper links way out here with spacers to get the triangulation I needed, so the back end isn't sloppy side to side. I want to get shorter rear shocks and then move these mounts back because they're like too laid down, and any farther back I put them, it makes the truck too high. So I want to get like a 90 millimeter. I'll probably get like the same shocks as the front and just take the inner springs out. The shocks, speaking of the shocks, are Ascent Fusion shocks. They're 20 bucks off of eBay, brand new. I'll probably switch them over to 50 weight, and I might get mini T-springs. I don't know. These springs, actually, the spring rate isn't terrible. Might try them. But I'm probably going to get another set of the fronts and put them on the rear and just run 4 fronts. Because the rears are probably like 95 to 100 millimeters, and the fronts are probably like 90. And the fronts have them internal springs in them, so it holds the front down, which is nice for going up steep climbs. So you can take the internal springs out there when you put them in the rear, so you have a little more flex. So the rear servo is just the cheap Amazon one, like high torque, $28 or something, I think it was. I had a while ago, so I'm not really sure. The drive shafts, AliExpress, cut to lengths. I could have made the rear one a little bit less long. It's hard to judge where you're cutting them, even though they even have like a tape measure looking thing on there. It's just when the thing's so long and you can't really put it where it exactly needs to be, it's kind of tricky to do. I probably could have made this one at least an 1/8 inch longer, but I have an extra set of them coming for my other truck, and if that truck actually probably needs a shorter one, so I'll probably cut this one down a little bit and use it in that truck to make it the right length, and then do one. I'll measure it exactly off of this, but just make it between probably 1/8 or 1/4 inch longer. It should have some slip up there, but as you can see, doesn't move a whole lot. So them drive shafts are like 20 bucks or something with shipping for a pair of them off AliExpress. Like insanely cheap. The motor is out of my VRD Carbon. It's a Fusion 1800 kV SE, and I got the card so I can adjust everything on it, and I have the servo turned up to the highest setting. Oh, that's not going together. It's hard to connect these batteries one-handed, but there it is. I got to get a better setup for these lines. I got wires going everywhere. I'm running a 450 battery in it, but here's the steering. Got about that much angle on it. Pretty good. And then the rear steers are pretty sharp too. That's as fast as the rear steers, but I'm really steering it off just this knob on top of the fly sky, which it's kind of tricky to do because when you're driving it, you almost have to like be steering it with it's being on my right hand, but I basically had to steer it and then use the rear steer, you know, with my fingers and still steer it here and there, you know, like it's tricky. This radio remote, whatever, isn't great for rear steer. It works, but you can put it in like these other modes, like crawl. And you can turn it on like that. And then it'll steer all the wheels at the same time, but you have to have it plugged into the right part on the receiver too, and I don't, so. And turn that off. So I don't use it. So the motor, this thing's got tons of wheel speed, if you've seen in the video. I'll probably put that clip in this video. It's like ridiculously fast, but it still crawls, I mean, good, real slow. I'll put a couple 2 tires here or something to crawl into quick, just to show how slow it crawls. It'll crawl that slow, and it has like insane wheel speed. I have a 15 tooth pinion in this thing, so it's like ridiculously fast for a crawler. It's like way fast, like it'll spin like cyclone donuts. Like you see in the video I'll put in here, like even in the snow, it'll do it probably in the dirt too. I haven't tried it yet. I only drove it one time so far, but the thing crawls good. Has a little bit of slop in the drive line with this transmission and the drive shafts, but nothing you couldn't get used to. So that's pretty much it though for the truck. I'm just gonna practice running it in class 3 and just set some gates up and see if I can get used to the rear steer. I might do something else on this radio here to try and figure out how I can, there's another way you can put like a knob on it that's self setting back to 0 and stuff like that. Thing like walks over like an inch. But these are brand new tires too, they're sticky. So yeah, that's basically it for this truck. Stay tuned for some videos on it. I'll be taking it over to Sam Lewis here once I get a decent day. I'm interested and curious to try out this rear steer over there and see if I can't try some new lines. Plus with all this forward skid and all this breakover angle, like this thing's got mega clearance under here. Like if you have any of these cans of paint, I mean, I had that much clearance before I lowered the shock setting, but I mean, it has basically, I hit the drive shaft, but it'll pretty much almost clear a can of paint straight under it. Them little hobby cans, so that's pretty big. That's pretty good clearance there with these 2.2s and stuff. This thing, once these things get scrubbed in, which shouldn't take long with all this wheel speed, I might gear it down a little bit because it's ridiculously fast right now. It probably will ramp up stuff and probably brake too. So I'll probably gear it a little shorter here for a little better crawling. But that's basically it. If you want to see more content on this truck, like and subscribe, and I'll get it over there. That body's hard to fit with one hand. I'll get it over there to Sam Lewis here shortly and try to run some lines with it, see what this thing's capable of, and probably do some tuning. Probably have to add some brass to the front axle and stuff because these, I don't know, it might be okay. It's gonna be close. We will see.